All right, here we go. So today we'll continue then in, what chapter was this about again? This was...
Brother Samir?
Yes.
I just wanted to let you know, I tried to do the homework last night and I had no idea how to do it. I did not understand at all. Is it possible for us to go over homework or to go over some of the topics that were...
Yeah.
Well,
All right, let's go ahead and go there then. Okay, let's go. Let's see. So were you doing, which specific one were you doing? I'll just pull it up right here.
I tried to do last week's homework and then this week's homework.
That was lesson 30?
31 and 30.
31.
I think 31 and 32. And I do not understand maybe the instructions.
All right, so it says go to volume 2, which is this volume 2, page 7, exercise 6 and 7, pick 2, 3 each words from your sentences. 7. All right, so this is age 14, so let's go to 7. We'll remember to come back to something. 7, exercise 6 and 7, pick 2 or 3. All right, so this is exercise 6 and this is exercise 7. So in exercise 6, here, this one is ضع مضارع ضارع كل فعل من الأفعال الآتية. Place a مضارع, like a fi'l مضارع, in every verb, or make a, put a, like a present tense for every verb from the following verbs. Al-af'al is the plural for fa'al, al-af'al, and mean from the af'al, the following, al-atiya, which is following. في جملة مفيدة, وبين, in a beneficial sentence, وبين, and distinguish or separate, هو معتل الآخر بالألف أم بالواو أم بالياء. Is it deficient, the ending with alif, waw, or ya? So here it wants us to make mudari for these verbs, and then it wants us to say, is the last letter mu'tal, like, is it like broken or deficient, whatever we want to use there. The word is mu'tal, and with the alif, ya, or let's say alif, waw, or ya. So pick 2 to 3 of these verbs, for example, and then clarify whether the last letter in it is alif, waw, or ya, to make it a fi'l that's mu'tal. So there's fi'l sahih akhiruhu wa mu'tal al-akhir. The ending al-akhir, the ending is either mu'tal or sahih. So dua becomes, or da'a becomes yad'u. Yad'u, like that. Ya, dal, alif, ayn, waw, and then the and so this in this particular one, then the mu'tal is a waw. And okay, so some of them, yeah, everything they have here, there's a mixture of alif, waw, and ya. So we just have to pick 2 to 3 of these, and then you can do all of them if you want to, but you can just pick 2 to 3 of them, and then just maybe in the end you can just highlight this letter if you want to do it that way. Or you could put a dash and then write wow if you wanted to. We're identifying, we're changing them all to mudari, and then we're clarifying the mu'tal al-akhir, which letter it is. So it's going to be, because what they're trying to focus here is like, okay, it's going to be these verbs are mu'tal. All of them in their past tense and in an alif or an alif maksur, a broken alif. Alif maksur means broken alif. Or and then after that, when you change it to present tense, it'll either become a waw, a ya, or it's going to be just an alif. It could either be an alif like that, an alif maksur, or it could be like an alif like this.
And how do you know which one it is?
You're not going to know. It's all straight through memorization. This is what Sister Farida was asking earlier. You will know this. Basically, you're going to have to just look up the word, unless you already know.
So are you able to pull up like a dictionary page and then like show us what to look for?
Yeah. Good questions. All right. So here, for example, let's say for the word safa. Here's safa. This word right here in the red. And then this is in Wikipedia. Wikipedia will probably be good. I already see it right here. Boom, right there. That's what it is. Let me do this. Hold on. Let me just, so I don't want to put pressure on your eyes. So here we go. This is the word, safa. You can, here's Wikipedia. And then here, without me even going any further, I have it right there, yasfu. So similar to da'a, the da'a is yad'u, and safa is yasfu. To be clear, pure, clear, serene. Ma safi, for example, they would say. Here, this word, this thing will probably have it. And in this dictionary right here, al-ma'ani, this is good. This ma'ani, I think, let's click on it right here and look. This particular dictionary, this one, I believe it does multiple, okay, when we switch this to, yeah, see, no, hold on. This is good. This is the English version of it. But also, if we go to the, I think it lets me flip here. Arabi, yeah. When I go to Arabi, no, man. Sorry. When I go to the Arabi one, let me just double check here. No, it's not this dictionary. There's one other website where it pulls from multiple other dictionaries. But Mani is good enough. It doesn't matter. Like now we're just being picky. But this one's good. There's another dictionary out there that it's like a compilation of multiple different dictionaries. But even here, so we have safa, and then here. Well, you know what? Didn't do it. I was looking for it to do the present tense and all that stuff. I guess so then we'd have to click on the Arabi one here. And then in the Arabi one, it'll go, Ta'min. Why are we doing that word? All right, so we go to the Arabi one, right? So we type in saw. And then when we go to the Arabi one, let's see here. Oh yeah, yasful. And this is the amr, isful. This is a command, isful. And then Safwan and the Safa and the Sufwan, these are like the hal versions of it. فهو صاف وصفوان وصفوان والمفعول به مصفوب له Safiyun lahu. Okay, so now this is something different. And there's other possible meanings. There's like khalas min al-qadar, and then safa al-jaw, and the safa al-ma, safa al-qalb. Just different potential meanings for it, just like you'd find in an English dictionary. Or different uses, I guess you could say. So this is what you could do, is you could go to something like this, or this first one. Wiktionary is really good. That's what I typically like to use, which is this one right here. This is my favorite one, because this one also does they did a very good job here. So here I can see like Arabic and other languages, which I once in a rare moon I might look at. But you can go here and this is Arabic. So this is the root. These are the three letters: Sa, Sad, Fa, Wow. I think when you click on this, it does pronunciation. I'm not 100% sure. I don't know what this part really is. But then we have, here's the verb, right? And here's present tense, past tense. Present tense, they call it a non-past. That's actually a more technical, that's a better term, because it's not necessarily present. It could also be future. It's just non-past. And then to be pure, clear, serene, yasful jo fi sayf. The weather becomes clear in the summer. Very nice. And then they gave some other possible usages. So it could be pure for heart. It doesn't have to necessarily have to be, something physical. To take the best part of, which I've never really heard of, to remain as a clear gain, also I haven't really heard of. But, and then here we have all the other when you click on this thing right here, the conjugation, this gives us everything we need to do in terms of the verbal formats. So I would say, let's maybe click on, if you had a word here, then you can just Google it, or you can go straight up to this Wiktionary and then type it up here in the top right corner. So let's do dua. This is a good question. And this thing, the nice thing is that it has all the tashkil and stuff. So here we have also the verb da yad'u, to call, to invite or summon, to call up, call upon, appeal, to urge. They did a very good job in here. Very, very good. And then we go to conjugation, it has all the conjugations, so you can see all the conjugations too. More detailed conjugations. All right. So unless we had any other further questions about that, then
so we're supposed to create a sentence for I think it was exercise 6.
Oh yeah,
Create
that
a
was
sentence.
Yeah, let's go back here. So then exercise 7. So exercise 6, you don't have to create a sentence. You just have to. Oh wait, you know what? It does ask you to. It does ask you to make a sentence, but here, so yeah, it does want you to do a sentence with the 3 of these verbs. So for example, you could say, dua call yadu Ahmadun Aliyan, for example. And then yasfu sahab, the cloud is like gentle or clear, or yasfu jo. I think within that Wiktionary, it already kind of gives you a sentence, and then what we'd have to do is simply, you could just maybe manipulate that same existing sentence. So here, here they did not give us a sentence. It kind of sucks. But you can make one sentence with this or skip it, but I would advise try to make a sentence. And then on part 7, da madin, place a past. So this one, it's the opposite. So here, yaqdi, this is yaqdi, would be like qada. And you could say qada, for example, rabbuka. This one's Surah Isra. وقضى ربك ألا تعبدوا إلا إياه. And your Lord has judged or commanded, not commanded, maqada, decreed, or not commanded, but judge, because qadi comes from this word yaqdi. Rabbuka Allah, to worship none other than Him. And then yabqa would be like baqiya. Baqiya. Yeah. So baqiya juz min al-ams. There's rice left over from yesterday, for example. So for these things, you could go and look inside like the Arabic dictionary, find a verb, and then maybe it'll give you a sample sentence. If not, just put whatever you can put together, and then if there's any corrections, we can make some corrections. So let's look at that one right there. So that one it started with yabqa, right? Yab. So yabqa. I don't know what to do. Oh, this is yabqa. All right, so we're going to do yabqa. You click on this guy right here. Baqiya, to last, to endure, to stay, to remain. So here, سأبقى في منزلي. I will stay at home. So this one they did give us an example. And then here's all the verbal formats for it. If you want, you can just do one or two verbs, but the more I think one does this, the more they'll have the practice of going through the dictionary and just going through the motions so that it becomes easier and easier.
And then to make the sentences, for example, what I wasn't sure about is like, how do I put the tashkid for the other words?
Well,
you know what I mean? Like it would be nice if we had like an example.
So
because don't the verbs?
Yeah, go ahead.
Like, don't the verbs have to match up? Like, if the verb has like a fatha at the ending, won't the other words, like the subject, also have to have?
Yes, you're right. And those things, we know them from before. So, for example, like here, it's fi. Here it's menzili, so it said my house. But if I said al-menzil, then this would end with a kasra because it has fi before it. And we should be able to do all the tashkil for a basic sentence now from book one, because you can do it. You already know them. We'll just have to practice them a little bit. But either you're going to do a jumla ismiya, which would be like this, and that's not going to be part of this. But if it's the subject, it's going to be marfu with this dhamma. If it's the maf'ul bihi, it's going to be, there's going to have a fatha on the end. in the examples of the words that we use. That's essentially what's going to happen for all these jumla fi'liya. If it's one of these where it's like I conjugated it, then here is the fa'il, and then the maf'ul bihi is going to have the thing on here. It's going to have the fatha. It's not always fatha, but everything that we've done is an example so far. That's how it's been. Here it's uktub al-wadhifata, the maf'ul bihi. So depending on whatever that word is in that sentence that we're constructing, like, for example, like, let's say it's like nada. So nada, for example, Hadi. Hadi called. Nada, Hadi, he like called out, like yelled out. Nada, Hadi. Ummahu. Ummahu. This is going to be a fatha. And that's going to be a fatha because this is the maf'ul bihi. This is the hadiyun. It's going to be dhamma because it's the fa'al. And nada is fil madi, right? So that's what we've for these basic sentences, we know what's going to be. There's going to be, if it's a fa'al, we're going to have 2 to 3 things. We're definitely going to have a fa'al. If it's jumla fi'liya, there's definitely going to have to be a fa'al. And then the maf'ul bihi is optional. It depends on the situation. Sometimes you have to have a maf'ul bihi. You have to have an object because the verb requires it. So you can't say he saw. You have to or he went. You can't just say he went. It has to be he went, and then there has to be more to the sentence. I guess you could in certain situations do he went, but in certain situations, like the sentence just requires an object, otherwise it doesn't make any sense. If it's part of a paragraph or something, I guess you can make sense, but the sentence has to make sense. That's what they meant by mufidatun, a beneficial sentence. It can't be just a sentence and it's like you put a couple words there, the grammar's there, and then it doesn't mean anything. It has to be something that the words together express an idea, a complete idea, a very simple idea in what we're going to do.
Okay. So basically refer to the sentence grammar PowerPoint for how to do the tashkil. And then
yes. And we should have these like, we can refer to this, but all this stuff, quite frankly, we need to have, like, this should be second nature now. We should be like, okay, I should know, like, okay, all right, boom, like this is going to be a fatha there because this is the maf'ul bihi, like fa'al maf'ul bihi, fa'al maf'ul bihi, fa'al maf'ul bihi, like that. This should be like, we're rolling on it now. I think if we do a couple more exercises and we can use this document, but we've done it enough and we've reviewed book 1, and book 1 was like a big chunk of it was just this. Book 1 was a big chunk of this. And then there will be situations also where we might have, so if we put kana, akhwatuha, or if we want to do inna and make it a little bit fancier, we could do that stuff. And then also we have ism majroor. So if it's any of these things, and the word after that will have to have a kasra. In the examples we did, that's not the actual rule of jar, but that's the examples we've done so far. So like, you know, as we're constructing these sentences now, we should be able to just piece them and be like, okay, this guy is going to have, this is a majroor. All right, we're going to have a kasra on it. This one is the fa'al. Okay, it's going to have a dhamma on it. Although that's not the rule, but all the examples we've done as the dhamma. And then the maf'ul bihi, okay, it's going to have a fatha on it. Because we've done it. Like every time we've done it, it's the same thing. So fa'al has a dhamma, the maf'ul bihi has a fatha, the ism majroor has a kasra, the ism kana has a dhamma, the khabar kana has a fatha, the ism inna has a fatha, the khabar inna has a dhamma, right? Like that's essentially, like what I've said there is a summary of almost every slide in this text. The na'at, the adjective, will follow whatever it's describing. It'll have the same tashkil. But if we do maybe a few of these these on our own, I think we'll get them. But like you already have it. It's already there. It's just gotta maybe in these exercises, maybe we'll be able to do it more. Like we'll be able to now construct our own.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel confident you guys will be able to do it. Just you'll maybe make some mistakes, and that's fine. But we'll power through it. So don't worry about it. All right. So here's the different types of i'rab, which we kind of got into already. These are words where they morph. That's what's meant here by i'rab there. And I think we stopped right here. And from our so last time the homework was 13 and 19. So this is 17. Okay, so let's just go on to here. This will be the new topic, and we'll probably do a little bit now, and then we'll probably get to cover next time too. These are very good questions you guys had. So here are the أحوال بناء الفعل الماضي, the kinds of building or construction of the past tense. This chapter is going to essentially be a review from book 1. Maybe they'll have some additional details, but we'll look at it. And I think the main focus here is that what type of word is the fi'l madi between, if we have two options, there's a question for you guys, and we say it's either mabniun or أو معرب, or it's one that morphs. Like it can be, they'll change. Is it morphs is the right one? I guess the ending will change. So it's either mabniun or معرب. And the meaning for mabniun means the ending will not change. The معرب will change. So the question to you is أحوال بناء الفعل الماضي. What is the fi'l madi mabniun or is it معرب?
They're mubni. Fi'l madi is.
Yes, that's correct. Why is it mabniun?
Because the tashkil of that verb doesn't change.
Yes, exactly. That's exactly it. The tashkil of the fi'l madi, it's not going to change based upon anything else in the sentence. Nothing will change it. The only thing that will change it is if we are building it a different way. But once it's built, there's no change to it. So اشتد البرد, which is actually, this happens to be in our census ever. I think this is like one of the earlier examples of the fi'l madi. So the cold was
the weather
strong.
is strong or something. I remember that.
Yes, the weather was strong. Exactly.
Yeah.
So in that particular thing, right, this is اشتد. It doesn't matter what comes before it or after it. اشتد is always اشتد. Whatever I put before it or whatever comes after it, whether it's a question, whether it's an assertion, and whether it's whatever it may be, it's not going to change. However, for example, al-madi, al-mudari, question again, the fi'l mudari, the present, oops. What is mudari? Is it mabniun or is it mu'rab?
I think it's mu'rab.
Yes, it's mu'rab. Why?
Because it changes based on if it's nasab or rafa or the state, right? Just
Yes, exactly. So, for
I just heard
example,
it lesson, so that's why I remember again.
it doesn't matter, right? So if it's yad'u, if it's yad'u, right? Then this is like this. It's yad'u, and then we would consider this to have a sukun right here, yad'u. And then if I put len here before it, put len here, then it becomes, if I put len here, it'd be len yadu'a. Len yadu'a. And if I put a lam before it, so now it becomes majzoom, and it becomes like this. It becomes yad. Oh. Becomes like this, yad'u. So, that has to have the lam before it. So this is majzoom. So the mudari, because of other things, variables in the sentence, it'll change. Whereas the shadda, once this shadda barud is there, I could take this sentence right here and I could start putting stuff before and after it. I could put inna before it. I could do whatever I want to do into it. I could put this is called, to make it a question, ashadda barud. If I make it a question, nothing will change this ashadda. But if it's mudari and it was like yashtaddu al-bardu, taddu what happened there? That was weird. Okay, 1, 2, 3. I think I did this right. 2, 1, 2. I think I have too many. Sorry, I have too many waves here. Sorry about that. Anyways, this will be yashtaddu. Let's say it's yashtaddu al-barad. Once I put a len before it or a lem, for example, and there's other words too, then this thing's going to change. Whereas when I go over here, is this a shadda? It doesn't matter. Once it's built, it's done. There's no more messing with it. Unless we're changing the meaning. If we're trying to change the meaning and we're trying to make it plural or whatever. So that's what they're going to get into here. They're going to talk about the different ways of constructing or building. So here's how let me say that. So ashtad al-babdu. Okay. And then we have nazal al-matar. All of these ones, sadaqta. Okay, this is a better one. All right. Fi qawlik. Sadaqta fi qawlik. You were truthful in qawlik. So here, the sadaqta, it's built, but it's built on, they'll say this is built on sukun. These are built on sukun, and they'll say these ones are built on fatha. Meaning the ending is built on that particular tashkil, sukun, and fatha in these particular examples. They're built on those tashkil and they don't change. Those particular tashkil are fixed. Whereas if it's mudari', the ending of the verb, it's not fixed. It's mu'rab. It'll change between the other things. So if we look here, kind of going full circle here. I didn't do one of these. When do we start getting to it? All right, here we go. Well, this doesn't really matter, but laysa, it's fi'l madi naqis mabniyun ala al-fatha. So it's mabniyun, it's built on the fatha. There's like a fatha on top of this laysa. Oh man, I should have had a fatha there. So it's laysa. So they will say that's mabniyun ala al-fatha. It's built on that fatha. Let's see if I have some other examples here. No. Thought I had more of those. All right, here we go. أكلت. Here's فعل مبني على السكون. So this أكلت, there's a sukun right here. So the ta over there is considered the fa'al, the subject. And that's what it says here. ضمير متصل مبني في محل رفع فاعل. And so when we had a mabniun in this particular chapter, what we're doing is we're looking at the different mabniun forms of the past tense. Ashtadda, sadaqta, adalta. You were just or balanced in your fi hukmika, in your judgment. Ahsanta ila nas. You were excellent with the people, and you were good to the people. And so in these particular ones, these ones are all built on sukun. These ones are all built on fatha. All right, let's look at these ones. Al-awladu laibu. The boys or the kids, laibu, they played. Ad-rijalu safaru. The men traveled. Al-ummalu taibu. The workers, they got tired. In these particular verbs, what are they built upon? You guys tell me. They're mamniun ala what? They're fi'l mudari, mamniun ala.
Is it dhamma?
Yes, excellent. Dhamma, very good. Yes. And then we have al-banatu ta'allamna al-hiyaka. I don't know what hiyaka is. But the girls, they learned let's just look that up real quick because I'm curious. Oh, okay, like weaving or knitting. All right. And this is a verb form of it, but yeah, hiyaka right here. That's the like the gerund or whatever. All right, so okay, so here al-ummahat, the mothers, atamna awladahunna, they fed their children. Al-fatiyat rattabna al-ma'ida, they the girls, they organized the spread, like the meal spread. All right, so here what do you think these are built upon?
At first, I was going to say the sukun, but then I guess you circled the fatha.
It is built on the sukun. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have circled that way. This would be considered what it's built upon, and then this other piece is considered the fa'al. Same thing here. This is what the verb is going to be built upon, and then this is the fa'al. So let's see. Here it's continuing it. So here these guys will all be built on the fatha, I mean the sukun, and these ones are also sukun. And what they're doing is they're separating the verb. They're splitting it up, and they're like, this part is a verb, and this guy right here is what it's built upon, and then this other piece right here, the nun and the aleph, this is the fa'il. In terms of relevance for everything that we do, I mean, it doesn't really matter that much. There's really no consequence. I can't think of any really thing that comes to mind off the top of my head of why this would matter that much. What, you know, identifying whether it's mabniun ala sukun or whether it's mabniun ala fatha or lamma or whatever, kasra or whatever. But maybe it'll pop up again in the future and I'll remember, like, okay, this is why it matters. But this is the way that they break up the grammar. So kind of going full circle here. The way we started originally, the very beginning of the book, was just identified what type of word it is. Okay, this is an ism, this is an ism. Boom, we're ism. And then we added a little bit layer 2. So here we're like, we'll add ism. That was like the first chapter, first couple chapters. And then now we're like, and then later on we added something like, okay, it's mubtada and it's marfu'. These are 2 other things that were added. Right, and then that was for the jumla ismiyah. So now if we go to this one, so the first thing was for us to understand, like, okay, this is a verb. Boom, verb. Then we're like, all right, well, what type of verb is it? All right, it's maldi. If it's maldi, we don't have any rafa, nasab, or any of those options. It's going to be mabniun, which is what we're covering now. This chapter, now we're covering it's mabniun. We're covering this piece right here. Mabniun ala sukun. As a foreshadow of events to unfold, right? Eventually we'll have this piece right here, the ittisal bita al mutaharrika, and then we'll talk about also this component right here, which we've already kind of discussed to some extent, that this is going to be a dhamir muttasil mabniun fi mahall raf'in. We've already covered that it's a fa'il. We already know that. The other components that we'll have to cover within this definition of how this word is defined, the grammatical classifications, is it's going to have all these other things. It's going to be dhamir muttasil mabniun fi mahall raf'in. And then for qalu, for example, we've already done maf'ul bihi. We've already done that it's ism mansub. And we've already done pretty much for the maf'ul bihi, it looks like we're kind of done. I don't know what else we're going to add here. But I think we're done. I think maf'ul bihi we're going to be done. But the other things, we're going to still add other components. But all throughout the book, what we've been doing is we're just adding layers of it. There is more layers to add even within what you see here. It's not all written here. What we'll have is, it'll say other things in there that we'll cover on later on, which we'll get into. And I think you'll start seeing that more in book 3. And that's just giving, we're going to add some more stuff to it. Like, this is what's happening in this sentence. So anyhow, let's look at the ruling here. We'll stop on this thing. But the al-qaida is, the rule is, al-fi'l al-madi yubna, the fi'l al-madi is built ala al-fath illa idha ittasarat bihi waw jama'a فيبنى على الضم أو اتصل به التاء المتحركة أو نون النسوة أو نون النسوة أو نا الدالة على الفاعل فيبنى على السكون. So it's saying that the Madi is built upon the fath, except if it's connected with the Waw al-Jama', which is number 1. These are the exceptions now. Let's just color the exceptions. And we'll change the color. So we'll say the fa'al Madi is mabniun ala al-fatha. It's mabniun ala al-fatha. Illa, this is exception number 1. If it's connected with the Waw al-Jama'a. The Waw al-Jama'a, what is that? So if we have the word kharaja, then it would be kharaju. This waw, this thing right here, they call this waw al-jama'a, which is plural. the wow for plurality. And then we go to exception number 2, excuse me. How, number 2, this is another exception. اتصل به التاء المتحركة. The تاء المتحركة is like the moving, متحركة is like it's like the mover. But that'll be for like for example, خرجت. So here, right here, this is called the تاء المتحركة. خرجت, خرجتي, خرجتم, خرجتم, خرجتما. I think that's all of them. And then if, or the nun and niswa. So back to here. Number 3, the nun and niswa. You don't have to memorize these things. We just have to like know what they are, or be familiar with it. The nun and niswa is like kharajna. Kharaj. Kharajna. أو, number 4, or na الدالة على الفعل, or the na, which is like us, خرجنا, which shows the فعل. فيبنى على السكون. Then those ones, all these ones that they mentioned, number 1, 2, 3, 4, those verbs are built on sukun. So it's either going to be fatha or the dhamma, which is going to be exception number 1, and then 2, 3, and 4 are on the sukun. And then here's some exercises. I'll put some of the exercises in the homework, but let's just maybe do one of these things together. All right. All right, here we'll do this. Ayin, like specify في العبارة الآتية in the following expression. الأفعال الماضية المبنية على الفتح. The past tense verbs that are built or constructed on the fath. ومبنية على الضم, and the ones that are built on dhamma. ومبنية على السكون, and the ones that are built on the sukun. وبين السبب في ذلك, and then the reason for it. The reason is going to be because it's either we have the wal jama'a. If it's a wal jama'a, then it's going to be on the dhamm. And if it's on the sukun, it's going to be the ta' al-mutaharrika, the nun al-niswa, or the na, the nun alif for the fa'al. So those will be the sabab, the reasons, the reason. All right, so here we go. All right, kharajtu. Kharajtu. This could have been kharajat, right? We'll have to look at the, but looking at the rest of the sentence, I already know it's going to be kharajat, kharajtu. So kharajtu min al-manzil asran. I left from the house at asr time. So here in the afternoon, late afternoon. So kharajtu. So the question number 1 is, so what we need to do is in this expression, we want to identify the fi'l madi and then say what it's built upon. So kharajtu, what is it built upon, and then why? Kharajtu, what do you guys think?
Well, it can't be fatha because it has the ta at the end.
Yep.
So I think it's, is it with the مبني على السكون?
Yes, very good. Mabni ala sukun, and then why? The reason, and then what they did is here in the Y, which they kind of gave from Celeste here earlier, is the Y's they gave us is it's either default fatha, or they'll say it's to be, or it'll be with a dhamma if it has the waw al-jama'a. They call that the waw al-jama'a, like if it's kharaju, dhahabu, qara'u, any of that. Then they'll say it's built on the dhamma because of this waw al-jama'a, or it'll be for these ones right here. Man, they didn't. This is kind of like, but all books can be improved. But essentially, these guys right here, these guys are all the sukoon. These ones, these are sukoon. And so these ones are built on the sukoon. And then, we're going to the colors on that. All right. And then this one, it's going to be dhamma. And that's one's it's for the waw al-jama'a. So that's like another option. And the remaining of them are just going to be fatha default. And you don't have to say anything of why. So if it turns into a dhamma or if it turns into sukoon, you know, if it's going to be dhamma, this is going to be waw al-jama'a is the reason. This is the reason right here, if it's sukoon, I mean dhamma. If it's the sukoon, then there's a few different reasons for it. It could have this ta' al-mutaharika, which is like tu, ti, tum, tuma, or it could be the nun and niswa, dhahabna, akalna, ra'ina, qatalna, whatever. Then it'll be the nun niswa. Or it could be this na. One of these four reasons will cause or be why it, or be, you know, part of the reason it's built on the sukoon. All right, let's go to the next one. This is a good color. فصادفني بطريقة تراث الإيمان عرفتهم. So then I came across, I think صادفني. I thought it was something else meaning. I just want to double check it. Yeah, met is better. All right. I came across, I met. So then saw definitely. So that's saw definitely. Saw definitely. So this is the verb right here. Oh, this is the ugly part. Let's do, I thought I had a maroon. Is that maroon? Well, let's just do this. Saw definitely. Saw definitely. So what about saw definitely? And then met me.
Wouldn't this be well? You put a fatha on top, but because it ends in noon, so would that make it a sukoon? It ends in sukoon.
No,
Yeah, sukoon.
that's good. It's a good point. This thing was added to it. This noon and were added to it because then that means me. So so what happened is they met me. It's and here the fa'al, excuse me, is ثلاثة غلمان, 3 young men. These 3 young men, ثلاثة غلمان, these 3 young men are the ones who met me, or I encountered them, suddenly encountered me or met me. So the noon ya is added to it. And we'll cover this also, I believe, in this text about adding those types of things like sadafani and things like that. All right, araftuhum. So let's just go to the next verb. You got it right. It's fatha. All right, araftuhum. عرفتهم. And here عرفتهم. عرفتهم. Is this, what is this? I knew them. I knew them.
Okay, I mean you put a sukoon on there, but
Yeah.
wouldn't this also be oh yeah, it's gonna be sukoon because of the ta.
Yes, exactly. And this particular verb, this is the verb section according to how they do the grammatical breakdown. Araf. Araf. And then the ta right here, this would be the fa'il. And in this particular case also, the similar to the ta being connected to the verb, this whom, which is the maf'ul bihi, is connected. I knew them. So I left from the house at Asr time, but saw Dathani, and then I happened, three young, sorry, 3 young men suddenly encountered me in the path, fi tariqi, araftuhum, I knew them. Araftuhum is them. Wa'arafuni, and they knew me. Wa'arafuni, and they knew me. So that me in there is the noon, yeah. So that basically is like what we would call the object pronoun in English. So we have the subject pronoun in English, which is I. We have the possessive pronoun, which is my, and then we have the object pronoun, which is me. Arafuni. So what about arafuni?
This would be also a sukoon.
No, this one's built
You
on
put okay, so you put a dhamma, but on the chart that you had before.
the chart,
Okay, no, not the chart, but
the rule.
on the rule you wrote that if it has a noon, I thought it was built on the sukoon.
Yeah, it's the noon and niswa. If it's a feminine, it's that like kharajna, dhahabna, arafna, those ones, then you're. But this particular one here, also they grouped them together. So I think this is probably new. Maybe this is what I think next time we'll cover this because it's covered later in the text, but it's. I don't know why. That's what I wish they went in order because I think they cover this later on the text. But this verb right here is this. This verb is only here. This is the only part of the verb. That's what they would consider the verb. This waw al-jama'ah is the fa'il. They. And this me is the maf'ul bihi. And so what's happened in this particular word is a lot of stuff going on in it, similar to this one. And similar to this one also. Anyhow, let's stop here and then I think what we'll do is
What's helpful for that exercise that we just did, I took a picture of the rule with all of your writing on there, and that's really helpful if that could be included, like with the homework.
okay, just reference this as homework.
Yeah, like it would have been nice if we had like a screenshot, and then like where it says like for the homework you could say what letter or how's this mabni on the, and then include the screenshot That would be
Okay.
really good. I think that's helpful.
All right. Okay, for this homework then, I will do that, inshallah, for this chapter's one. And I don't, all right, so let me just, let's all right, I'll stop the recording here. But, wait, hold on.